Wait, is this recording now? The record thing is on. I pressed this button right there. Oh, well then yeah. This looks like it's zoomed in. Trying to figure out how to... Is this how you guys do?
This is serious. We're here talking about some real serious stuff. This is going to be our just our platform for getting the real stuff out the way. So you here with Thomas,
Jeremy,
Mike.
You see, we didn't say nicknames.
It's because this is serious. So you had brought up something that you wanted to talk about with us, and that's why this is happening. So
yeah. So over the past 2.5 weeks, we all know what's been going on in this country. First, we had a white man try and get into a black church. He couldn't, and then he went to a grocery store parking lot and shot 2 black people, white man. Then after that, we had bombs delivered to prominent Democrats, including Obama, and turns out it was a white man. And then after that, we had 11 people killed in a Jewish synagogue by a white man. Now, I'm not bringing it up to bring up their race, even though that factors in very much so, but I'm bringing up the fact that they are all Trump supporters. So, at least the last 2 were most definitely showing how they were Trump supporters with their postings on, whatever it was, Gab.
I forgot which site it was, but it was that.
Social media.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to get, like the other guy, Theo, he it was close to his heart, so he decided to stay out of this before he gets a little too upset over some of these issues. So we just wanted to talk about it and get each other's thoughts. I don't know who wants to go first.
I'll go. For me, overarching problem is, and I'm going to step out on a limb and assume that people that do these kind of acts, all of the acts are usually people dealing with kind of mental issues. And a lot of times politicians, and you have to say politicians from both sides probably, take advantage, well, not necessarily take advantage, their rhetoric often gets a little to the point where it does incite people who probably need mental help. But as of late, Republicans have kind of ramped it up so much, and people following in Trump's footsteps have ramped it up so much that it's getting into a point where you're just exciting all these people to do these heinous acts, believing the false, premises that they're putting forth. You constantly calling Democrats mobs, criminals. We want criminals in the country. We want open borders. We don't want jobs for anybody. We want to rise taxes. The media is the enemy. And those type of dog whistle things incite people to do kind of crazy things, and this is what we get out of it. They probably never fess up to, that's what they're, what's happening, but a lot of people that follow you need help, and they don't usually get it, and they just listening to you, believing that you're speaking directly to them.
All right. I mean, for me, all these situations have basically just shown that there is a need for more gun control in general. There's also a need to educate people that, hey, just because someone's not another race, even though we should be doing that already, even though someone is another race, you should not be upset with them just for existing. And that's all that these people who have, all the innocents that have been taken away from us, they were just existing. And these 3 people decided, no, I'm done with that. And we just need to change as a group of people in general and work together rather than, stay by the old ways and be divided.
My take on it is that basically people gonna do what people want to do, and honestly, Trump and the Republicans most definitely played up a lot of things, like calling with the last guy that went and shot up the synagogue, kept calling the caravan of immigrants that's trying to, basically refugees, if you want to be real. They're not immigrants, they're refugees.
They're refugees.
Invasion.
Calling it an invasion, which is literally the rhetoric that the guy that shot up the Jewish synagogue used. And that's what they called it, even though these people are literally 1,000 miles away right now, 1,000 miles away. They're walking on top of that, full of women and children. But yet they're an invasion. and they're full of criminals apparently, full of gangbangers, all of this, and they're an invasion.
And I'm just gonna hit on that point right quick. Even if they are criminals, they could be trying to escape that life by moving here and better themselves. So
it's probably happened in the other. I'm sure it's happened in the past with under other administrations, but a large part of this is happening because Democrats, as well as many Republicans, know that Trump is not prepared or equipped to be the president, and right now his language is designed to get more Republicans into office. So he's throwing everything against the wall to try to rile up his base to come out and vote. So in his main tactic is fear. They use fear for, to get people out instead of inspiration, genuine inspiration or unity. It's all about fear.
I can agree with that because I've been saying that through all the commercials for any Republican period.
Yeah, and it's like, it's my, I've gotten away from calling myself a Democrat, but 99% of the time I'm probably voting Democrat. But it's like, if you can bring a case that's going to win me over and I think you're genuine, maybe I will vote for you. So it's like, I don't necessarily call myself a Democrat, but my history shows Democrat votes. But that's because Republicans have trying to find ways to circumvent genuine politics. Instead of bringing initiatives and laws that's going to benefit everybody, they're just focused on a few, and they know if they only focus on a few, they have to find other ways to win if their majority is so low. So they're suppressing the vote. They're trying to make it harder for Democrats to vote, and then you're trying to scare your own people into voting. That's why abortions is a big deal. I don't think they really care about abortions because you find out plenty of them probably forcing their own female partners or mistresses, probably even wives or whatever. Yeah. It's beneficial it's good when it benefits you, but they'll use it as a ploy to win office, and they don't think about the causes of it. You can call a caravan invasion because they are thousands of miles away and they mean very little to them. But when the synagogue got shot up, he can't risk riling up Jewish voters. So that's when he's, my grandchildren are Jewish. Well, but that's the only way that you can relate to them because you have to be close enough to touch them. Mm-hmm. That's a poor approach to politics in my mind. So it's like thousands of people aren't going to walk thousands of miles to get here just to do nefarious acts. You don't walk in a public street with cameras around across countries to get here just so you can do sneaky stuff. People are desperate to find a life for them and their children, and they're coming here knowing they have to know what happened to the last group of people that came here, but they're still willing to risk that to come here. And just to call it an invasion is unfortunate.
I want to add to that, the things that Republicans are trying to do now when it comes to making sure the borders are secure, all of this, a lot of them 125 years ago will be turning away their own grandparents or great-grandparents or whomever came across to this country on either Ellis Island or through the Mexican border to have a better life. They will be turning them away, literally. Absolutely. And they don't think about that. They're just focused on fear, as they're saying, terrorists can get over here, terrorists can do this. I don't know any fact about a terrorist crossing the Mexican border to get into America. Usually they just actually become citizens or get a visa and come to America. So
they do it the legal way.
They do it the legal way, and look what happens. So, like you said, it's a whole fear tactic, all of that. And one thing I want to say right now is that a lot of people, when it comes to Democrat versus Republicans and black people, a lot of Republicans like to bring up the fact that Republicans were the ones that made black people free as slaves because Abraham Lincoln was a part of the Republican Party. But what they failed to bring up is the fact that Republicans and Democrats switched platforms around the 1930s. Because I'm pretty sure that Democrats of the South from the 1800s and their descendants, and then Republicans of the North in the 1800s and their descendants, then decided to just up and move and cross countries. Like, we're going to go to the South, we're going to come up here to the North. Because that's where most Republican base is the South, and most Democrat base is the North, which was opposite back then. And we know that's not the fact. Democrats and Republicans switched platforms, so technically, you want to be real, Democrats were the ones that freed slaves during the Lincoln era. I'm finna just throw that out there now. When some Republican tries to tell me as a black person, like, you know, we freed you guys. Like, no.
Yeah.
But
No,
y'all
you
want the
didn't.
same
No, you
people.
didn't.
Because it's funny that you fought against the Confederacy, but yet you love the Confederacy.
Exactly. That's an entire contradiction right there.
I'm gonna end this segment on that. I don't know if you're finna do another one right after this, but
We don't know. But
this is serious.
this is serious. We might get back to this again.
Yes.